Let's dive right on in on everything, which there's a lot of everything happening right now. Tonight, you'll be on Talk Shop Live at 7 Central. Rob Baker of the Tragically Hip. The big thing coming really soon, like in 2 days, is that, well, big box set. It's up to here, the deluxe version of it. When you guys were going through the process of doing this remastering, doing this project, and putting everything together, was there any one thing, whether it was a song, an aspect of a recording, a demo, and whatever, that really stood out to whether it's you or any of the other band members, like, wow, did not either remember that or you discovered something in the process?
Well, it's funny with that record, even though it was 35 years ago that we made it, or that it was released, it all comes back so clearly. I remember so much about that session. And I do remember sitting when we first got our cassette tape to take home and listen to the mixes. And my favorite song out of the whole session was a song called Wait So Long. And that song didn't make the final cut of the 11 songs on the album, not because it wasn't up to it, but because we had sequencing issues regarding tempos and keys and everything else. And you end up cutting until it hurts, right? You edit. If you're cutting out things that you really like, then you've got a good record. And it just so happened that my favorite song ended up on the cutting room floor, and now it's out. I don't know why we had to wait so long, but it's now out. So.
I know sometimes a band or a singer will look back on an early project and go, I wish we could have done this different, because they wouldn't necessarily know better. It's their first time cutting a big album, going into the studio. I think that's like in Pearl Jam's case, they talked about maybe having less reverb if they could do it again, and that sort of thing. So do you guys, when you're listening through this, is there anything where you go, you kind of wish we had done this different, or was the album, like you said, that had to cut and there was the winnowing process? Was it right as is, there's no way you would have done anything different?
No, we couldn't make it now, Mm-hmm. Even if we'd gone in 6 months later, it would have been a different record. But we always kind of gave ourselves 5 weeks in the studio to make, that's your allotted time, make the best record you can make in that time period. Mm-hmm. And you would know you were going in, so you get your songs together and you know which songs were strongest and which ones were struggling. You get in there, you've got 5 weeks, make it as good as you can. And then at the end of it, it's kind of a warts and all. That's the best we could do in the 5 weeks with the batch of songs we had. And you walk away knowing that they're really just, in a way, for us as a live band, those are freeze-dried versions of the songs. The good songs in that package will go on stage and take on a new life, and they'll continue to grow and mutate and change, and probably some of those songs will get left by the wayside because they don't continue to grow. But you make the best album you can in 5 weeks and accept it. If it's not Chinese democracy where you're taking 10 years and millions of dollars to make a record, and by the time it comes out, nobody really cares.
And on that point, doing something pretty quickly and then having a legacy, like a song like a New Orleans is Sinking that has gotten so much of a legacy. Just use one of the songs, just to throw that out there. Was there, at how soon into your career did you start to realize, wow, what we did, this first album, even that is having resonance over time? It's building, this music is building into something beyond, hey, it's our first album. No, this is a cultural thing with fans and beyond.
I think we worried most about what we thought of it. And I think that we thought, this is a strong record. There isn't a dud track on it. And I can't think of many albums. I have a pretty vast record collection, and on almost every record you could go through and say, well, it would have been better if they'd taken these ones off. Or, It would have been a stronger collection. I don't feel that way about that record. So, yeah, I just felt it was a really great collection of songs, and it allowed us to go out and tour and tour and tour endlessly and play those songs. And as you mentioned, New Orleans is sinking. We go on stage every night, and it was a different song. And Gord would tell stories, or he wouldn't tell a story. Or, it was 4 minutes long, or it was 14 minutes long. We never really knew what was going to happen. And that was great. That was part of the growing process of it, and part of keeping us interesting and excited and engaged in it. And we always just felt if we're excited about it and we're engaged in it and we're having a good time, that's going to spread. Other people will get that.
We're now a month and a half on since the release of the Tragically Hip, No Dress Rehearsal. What kind of feedback have you gotten from either colleagues, fans of the band, having seen this series now?
It's kind of been overwhelming, actually. I don't know what the response has been in the States so much, but around here, whether I've been in Vancouver, Windsor, and Toronto, and Montreal, and everywhere I go, people of all ages are kind of stopping me, and I'm sort of shocked about who has seen it. My doctor yesterday said, I watched the documentary, very good. I was sitting at the pharmacy the other day in my car getting ready to go in, and a little old lady started banging on my window, and I thought she was going to give me hell over something. And she said, "You're in that band. I watched your movie."
Oh, wow.
So yeah, there's a certain reach. It feels like, for 35 years we toiled away in the trenches, and now 7 years after we played our final note, we're getting hot or something. It's a little strange.
It is, but yet it keeps on going. You can't predict any of that for sure. Now, last question. So not a prediction per se, but a look to the future. Do you have in mind what the next, if there will be a next box set, reissue, deluxe package, whatever of one of your prior albums?
There will be something, and we're having a Zoom meeting next week to discuss all of that, what next steps will be. But I really feel like this year has been a lot. It's the documentary and the coffee table book, which is This Is Our Life. They ate up a lot of time and energy, like psychic energy and attention. And I think everyone needs to just maybe step back, regroup a little bit, and figure out our next steps.
Oh, there's plenty of us.
There will be more. Lots of unreleased material still, for sure.
That's always good to hear that there's more in the vaults. And there's plenty of us for those of us, especially down here in the States, to discover more as well, like you noted. Plenty from the Tragically Hip. Rob Baker, thank you so very much for doing the tour today, and all the best as the promotion continues to go forward.
Thank you very much.